Hey, welcome back. It's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and we are going to paint up this sheriff station jail area here. So to get started, I have this deep brown from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to do some painting with that. Oh, didn't need to make a big old mess, but hell, it goes. We need something soft to get down in the cracks. Let's use this brush here, and I don't know if it's going to get in here without a little bit of water, but we'll see. Yeah, this paint isn't too thick. It's thick, but it's not the thickest paint on earth. I'm going to bring this up a little bit just so we can kind of get everything in frame. In frame, look at me. Almost like I know something about YouTubes. I don't know shit. Okay, as we go around here, let's keep in mind, this is going to be kind of painted desert on the ground part outside. Get a little bit of water because I think it's just not getting in all the cracks. A little bit of water will go a long way. Just the tiniest bit. Get it all where we want it. And all the crevices. Talk about fear and respect. It's a hard topic. Doesn't sound like it should be, but the minute I started to say it, I knew it was. So, we don't want our children to fear us. We want them to instead fear consequences of their actions that we are obligated to fulfill. For example, when I spank my children, which isn't a whole lot, but it does happen. It is never out of anger, and it is never because I want to spank them. It is because they have crossed a line that has been put before them saying this is not acceptable behavior, this is unsafe, or this could hurt someone or something. You can't do it. Not allowed. Then you talk to them about it, spank them for it, talk to them about it, ask them how they feel, ask them how they can change things going forward, ask them what they could have done differently. Talk about the rules, see if they agree with the rules, explain why the rules exist. Have an intelligent conversation with them, even when they're small. Always talk to them in such a way that they understand that you respect them, that you love them. But it doesn't mean you don't spank them. I've been criticized for spanking my kids before. When I had my older sons, I had a neighbor who was super nibby. She says, you shouldn't spank your kids. I said, well, your son's a stellar example of why I will. Because he's a teenager, and he can't get his shit together, and he doesn't listen, and he does whatever he wants, and he runs all over you. So maybe the correct argument is, you should have spanked your kids. Now, not every child needs a spanking, and not every crime, every infraction deserves a spanking. Keep in mind that spankings are not a one-size-fits-all punishment. And if they're not used correctly, they can create fear instead of respect, okay? And you want respect. Respect is the foundation of a strong relationship. Fear, not so much. Fear, the relationships that are guided by fear tend to be more like a prison situation. People feel trapped, feel like they're in a position they can't get out of for fear of what might happen to them. So, I have small kids. They're 7 and 8, the smallest dooms. And I do spank them. Obviously, that's not my go-to, like I said. Taking away privileges, taking away items that they enjoy, taking away their free time. Those are options on the table every time. It is not always a spanking coming. Though, sometimes you have to cross that line from some punishments to spankings to get your point across. For example, child A bites child C. Well, can't be biting people. It's dangerous. It's unclean. Someone could be injured. Got to not do it. Got to make sure that it never happens again if it does happen. So that in my house would be a spanking offense. Hurting your sibling in any way is going to result in a whooping on the butt. Now, I'm not talking about holding a child down and beating them for 5 or 6 minutes. I'm talking about a couple smacks, a couple raps, a couple taps. And always explain to them that you hate to do it. Always tell them the truth. Hey, this isn't cool. This isn't how I want it to be with us. I don't like when you do behaviors that force this. Try to use it, like I said, as a last resort. Don't use it as your go-to punishment. Now, why am I telling YouTube watchers this stuff? Well, I see a need for it, not in the YouTube community, but in the world around me. Parents that don't discipline their children enough, children that discipline their children too much, and people that are thinking that the only way you can teach your kid anything is to whip the shit out of them. So, I'm bringing this up not because any of you have made me feel like I need to teach you a class on it, because I feel like it's something we should talk about. We're kind of a family or group of friends here, right? I'm making these videos and you're watching them, and we're hanging out, making jails to put fictitious bad guys and fictitious worlds in. And it's not too far of a stretch to think we can't have an adult conversation about some stuff that's on my mind. Now we got it all covered around on the outside pretty good. Let's start working on the inside. I usually don't do anything this detailed with this much effort into it. This took a little while to build, and it's not usually my thing. I like to kind of build stuff quick and move on. But it is what it is. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and try to get down to some of those cracks and stuff the best I can. And if I can't get them, I'm not going to sweat it too bad. And then I'm going to kind of try to drag all my brush strokes one way and hope that it looks more like wood grain than paint. Will it? Hell if I know. This is also going to give us a chance to see any loose stuff as we're painting this. We'll find the loose shit and be able to make it work on it. So, yeah, I spank my kids. I don't beat the shit out of them. I smack them a couple times. Usually once, sometimes twice. And it's more so just that they know that the threat is there and that it hasn't gone away. And I would much rather have a conversation about what's going on and try to figure out what they think they can do better, or what they think they can change, or what situation got them to where they were. I get more value out of that conversation than I do out of smacking a child. Smacking the child's for their sake, not for yours. So, okay. I'm not sure which way I want the paint strokes to kind of go, so I'm just going to drag them to the side there. It's chilly in here. Should have brought a nice cold beverage down here. Since I've been doing this Wild West stuff, I've been going through a ton of this, what is it, deep brown? Yeah, deep brown from Dollar Tree. Somebody said something about building a couple different things. This was one of them. I try to, if you guys ask for stuff, I try to do it. Try to. I got stuff for a water tower set out too. When I say stuff for a water tower, that's actually kind of a lie. Let's be honest. What I have set out is a lid from window cleaner and some cardstock. And I have a rough idea of how that might go if we hit record and start doing it. Very, very rough idea. I want to get behind this door a little bit. M-O-O-N, that spells Sheriff Station. All right. I think we pretty much got her. Let's get this last wall piece. And then let's get the frames that hold the bar in. Even though we're going to come back and paint those metal most likely, so maybe we won't do that. Okay. I'm just going to hit this top part here, just like that. I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into that. Okay. And I think that'll do everything we need to do. This is the roof. I'm going to hit this up too. Get a little bit of water. There we go. Since this color is relatively cheap compared to the other stuff, I don't feel bad overusing it or wasting a little bit of it. I try not to waste anything, obviously. But if I had to waste any paint, trust me, I'd rather be this than something that costs $6 a little pot. My best friend's name is Daryl. I named my third son after him. And we had this funny thing that came up lately as per conversation. It's called Go Get D, Save the Day. When little Daryl was born, the doctors said, the OBGYN or whatever you call the doctor that does that stuff, said it was going to be a girl. And I knew it was going to be a boy, and I said so, and I was told I was wrong. But what am I going to do? Sit and argue with a medical professional when I am not one? I've always had kind of an extra idea of things, how they're going to be and what they're going to do and how it's going to work out. It worked in the war. It works whenever people that are close to me, and sometimes even strangers are having kids, I get a feeling. There's a lot of things that just kind of set it off. I can tell when someone's trying to do something bad to me sometimes. It just kind of, a little warning, like something's going to happen, or this, just like a little, not even a voice, just I'm not psychic or anything, it's just a little feeling. Anyways, I had a feeling that it was going to be a boy, and I knew it was. Okay, let's set that aside. Let's get the building back out and take a look at it. I'm going to set the cardboard off, and we're going to hit this with the air gun. And we're going to hit the roof with the air gun, too. I didn't do the underside of the ceiling, the roof because I didn't feel the need. Now, what we have here is just a little bit of overpaint. So I'm just going to get a brush and some water and try to get down those cracks and break some of that loose. If I can, that's great. If I can't, that's great too. Okay, we're not going to sweat it. It's not going to ruin the craft. But if we can get it out of there, show where those boards divide. That'd be ideal. Okay, let's get our cardboard back. We'll set our house off to the side and do a little bit of work on the old roof ski. All right, so I want to do this kind of a darker color. So I'm going to get some of my dark brown here, like this. There we go. I'm going to mix some of my lighter brown in with that because I don't want it to be dark, dark. Cool, something like that. Get some water. Okay. And we're just going to kind of drag it around in rough spots. Like that. Get a little bit more water. And this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. I'm just going to tag these sides with it real quick. And I think we're pretty much done with the roof for now. We are going to hit this with a dry brush later, but we're going to wait till we do the whole building to hit that. Now, floors of the jail. We're going to get this darker color, kind of hit those up a little bit. Make sure it's good and wet. Good and wet. Because I want it to go down in those cracks a little bit if I can. And if I can't, that'll be all right too. Okay. And the only reason that we're doing this with the darker browns is because we don't want everything to be one color in here. We want it to be a little bit interesting. Not overly so. So anyways. I have not beat all 4 of my sons with the same amount of spanking in their lives, and nor did I ever set out to. Nor do I think that's a good approach. I don't have a set number of spankings that everybody must get to know that I've done a good job. And that being said, neither should you. Khaki, I'm looking for territorial beige. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Territorial beige, where hideth you? Can't find it. Guess we're going to use the khaki. So on the outside of the building, our brush is a little bit damp, but it's not soaked. And we're going to get this. And we're going to paint this up. It's okay if there's some wet paint and it grabs it. It'll be all right. A little bit of variation will go a long way here and help our cause. Too much variation will look wonky. And we don't want it to look wonky. We want it to look nice. And we don't care how nice it looks as long as it looks nice. We're not going for perfection. Not by any means. Okay. And that little bit of variation is going to make it interesting, right? And as it dries, we'll find ourselves looking at something fancy. We're going to have to come on this with a brown wash or a black wash maybe. And we're going to, either before or after that wash, we're going to need to get some kind of dry brush up, some grayish brown. Kind of make the edges of it look a little dried out and grossed. Look at that. Almost like we know what we're doing, huh? We don't, but we're not going to tell anybody. You don't have to be a super talented artist for this kind of stuff that I do. I'll tell you what, some of these YouTube channels I've seen, man, you got to be a pro to capture what they're doing. You got to have some natural talent that I just don't seem to have or want to have because I don't want to spend that much time on a project. Let's get some more water. Get in here. Work up these walls. So All I'm doing is coming down here along the bottom, and then I'm going to work them up. And I don't care if they all match or not. I'm not worried about it. I am going to come in here and paint this a different color, but not yet. So I'm just going to take advantage of my brush having a flat tip. Now I'm going to get in here and try to get this painted. Okay. Something just like that. Nice creamy, kind of gross color. Somewhere between poop and perfection. Nasty. So I was looking at comments and answering them, and somebody posted about a famous Wild West Buffalo Bill situation. Or I think they said it was famous. Maybe I'm misquoting them. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know the reference. I'd actually never done any Wild West related D&D stuff ever before this, unless you count playing a gunslinger in Cyberpunk, or whatever, not Cyberpunk, Shadowrun. That's the closest experience to a cowboy I've ever had in D&D. Or not D&D, but tabletop games. We need a little bit more of that paint. That's probably a lot more than we needed. That's okay. I'll make it work. Get a little bit of water. Get our brush damp. Keep going. M-O-O-N. That spells damp brush. After speaking to everybody earlier, and I referenced The Stand, I started watching it. So you're stuck with it now. I'm going to be referencing it until it gets out of my head. That's right, M-O-O-N. That spells out of my head. Kind of like to see how you could implement that into a Western campaign, and The Stand is one of those things you could kind of force into almost any campaign if you wanted to. Well, let's try to get some of that wet paint going and smear it around so it'll dry quickly now. Got our walls pretty well coated. Let's set this cardboard off to the side so it's not affected by our dry brushing or by our hot air gunning. Okay, come on back with a wet brush. Some of that dark brown in that. And they're mixed in with some of that true brown. Let's get some kind of ugly color that we can start breaking up our desert with. Get that beautiful orange painted desert look I've been trying to use. And we want to get some of this lighter color. Get in there and rub that around too. A little more water. Okay. I'm going to tap around on the outside of the base and kind of make it look random and camouflaged. And I'm going to set that off to the side. I changed my mind. I'm going to get a little bit more paint. And kind of blend that some with some wet. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of come in here and try to smooth out some of this choppiness. Just a little bit of it. Just trying to create a nice baseline for these walls. A little bit of water. Okay. Okay. And this last side over here. Sweet. Our dingy looking jail is starting to come together. Now we're gonna get some of that water actually. I'm not real happy with how obnoxious that door is, so I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to hit that with this color here. Kind of spread some of that around. Spread some of that love around. Okay. Then I'm going to get my rag here and I'm going to dab up that door and catch some of that. Because it's just a bit too much paint. Okay. Let's dry this out and then come back with our metallic. So I'm going to use that metallic brown that I've been using and do all my bar work with that. So I'm going to get a medium kind of brush that I'm going to have a little bit of control over. And I'm going to do it all in brown. Then I'm going to come back and hit it with silver in some spots. Okay. If you have like a reddish copper, that might look real nice too on this. Don't have this brown, you can mix some brown and reddish copper and get something too. You got options, homies. Oh, you bastard. There we go. I am not going for perfection. Imperfection. I'm trying not to say it, but it's true. Perfection is not a prerequisite for a good craft. Sometimes the little things you hated or things you thought could have been better turn out to be amazing. Turn out to be a part of the craft that you love the most. Turn out to be a part of the craft that sells what you're trying to show. So keep in mind, perfection is great and all, but taking the time to do every craft perfect is going to make your life miserable. I have a good friend, well, my Lady Doom and I have a good friend. She's not just my friend, but she is I met her first, but she's a pastry not chef. And she came here from Vegas, where she was like a pretty popular, well done pastry chef, but she was from here originally. And she met a guy from here and moved back here to be with him because he had kids and he had been married once before. I don't know the whole story, but basically she came here to be with him. And she opened a really nice pastry place right by my house, and I live in kind of a nicer neighborhood. So I got to go there this weekend, and my third oldest son, or my second youngest, depending on how you break that down, was in her first commercial, eating a big old cookie. Okay. So that's my big claim to fame, is I have one son who's a model and another son who was in a commercial. Now, my oldest, I don't think he has any desire to be in commercials or be a model. He's a very down-to-earth kind of dude. I'm not saying he couldn't do any of those things. He definitely could. But my very youngest hasn't had the opportunity to do anything fancy. He's an amazing student. All my kids have been good students. Really, I'm super blessed. All my sons are just the best. Okay. I feel bad. I wasn't trying to brag on two of my sons and not the other two. All my sons are amazing. I love them all so much. They're all good boys. Two of them are good men. Now I feel terrible. Well, whoever watched the video is my favorite son. Whichever you watch my video first, you can be the favorite son. So you can say, oh, you didn't mention me, or you did mention me, but you're the favorite now. Keep that in mind. Embrace that. That's your destiny, is to be the favorite son. I'm joking. There'll never be a favorite. I love all my boys the same. Now, when it comes to my sons, I always say there's no favorite, but when it comes to me and my brother, well, sorry, I got to be the favorite. It's my job. Very seldom does the oldest have a chance at being a favorite. Now we're gonna get silver. Oh, where the hell's my silver at? It's got a black cap. Should be easy to find. There it is. I'm gonna hit all this with some air. I'm going to get that silver paint here. I mean, that brush that I just had. Oh, I didn't get any paint. All right, there we go. Okay. And we're going to get that brush. And we're going to wipe some of it off. Just a tiny bit. And we're going to drag it around on metal stuff. Just kind of making sure that you can tell that it's metal. Something like that. I'm going to touch these up a little bit. Oh, right all over the damn door. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Don't you worry your ugly little heads. We're going to come in there with that. We're going to get a little bit of that brown mixed. back again with a brush with very little moisture in it. Clean that up. There we go. All right. We're almost done. I know it's hard to believe, but we're almost done. We're going to get khaki, if I can find it. There we go. And a light gray. If I can find one. There we go. We're going to come over here. We're going to squirt a little bit of those out. I probably have enough khaki there to use. Yeah, I have enough khaki there already. We're going to set the cardboard out of the way for a moment. We're going to hit this with a dry hot air gun. Okay. Lady Doom's burning some kind of vanilla cinnamon thing upstairs. It smells like she's going to give me something good food-wise, and then I went up there and checked it out, and it's nothing for me. It's just incense. Now this is coming apart, so I'm just going to get a little bit of glue on this. And I'm going to shove that right back in there. And twist it, and then that should be good. All right, so I'm going to get that tan and that gray. There we go. I'm going to make something like this. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to wipe a lot of that off. Just leave a little bit of that on there. Then I'm going to come here, kind of hit corners and things that stick out a little bit. Those, whatever you call these things on the top and bottoms of windows. And if you get a little bit of that extra paint that you have, that's kind of a bonus. So just go ahead and embrace that. And if you can get in the cracks, kind of watching my door. Okay. I'm coming inside and I'm going to drag that across my floor. I'm going to focus more in the middle parts where the floor is more worn. And I'm going to hit this stuff in here. These walls, which should be mostly dry. Now I'm done with all that except for one last step. I'm going to get that reddish deep brown here and this gray. I'm going to mix an ugly color. Something like that. And I'm going to paint these bricks with it. And I'm going to half-ass it. Okay, it's not got to be perfect. And as it gets lighter and thicker and thinner, as you're moving it around, just leave it be. It'll be all right. Got some up on the wall. Nope, there's some more of it. Not what I wanted. Okay. There's the inside of our jail cell. Okay, we're done with that part. Let's get that brush and put it away. Let's get a plastic pan or a metal pan, whatever pan you have. Let's get it hoisted up on there. And we forgot to do the roof. So let's get the roof back out. And I need to get another soft dry brush since I took mine away. We're just going to quickly grab this tan and gray here. We're going to mix it up here. Like that. And we're going to come up here. And we're going to weather this. And this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. A little bit more. Okay. All right, let's start with this. We don't want to get the ground outside. We want to get the interior walls and the exterior walls. So I'm going to get a soft, flat brush. going to give me some control. And I'm going to get my black wash. I'm going to put a little bit in my cap. And if I did it right, I should have some bubbles because it should be soapy. Because I have Dawn dish liquid in here. And I'm going to go here, start working myself around, dirtying this up, and making it look all grody and nasty. I'm doing the outside first. I'm not going to aim on the bars. Hell, we'll try it out and see how it looks. I might want to come back and hit my bars again anyways, with a little bit of silver, just real lightly. I don't know yet. We'll see. And we're just going to come around here and paint this. And we're going to let it run up. See how I'm holding upside down? We're going to let it run up. We don't want it getting down on that base and ruining the painted desert. This kind of grimy theme I've been using seems to work pretty well, and it catches any attempts at making lumber that I failed at. It kind of picks those up and grabs those for me. It darkens in the areas between the planks a little bit where I lost detail, and even kind of helps make them look like planks as it dries. So it's been pretty good to me. Okay, let's get a rag. Kind of dab around, make sure we don't have any big loose stuff anywhere. It's going to drip everywhere. Something like that. Okay, let's get inside. Nice. I need a little bit more of this though. There we go. You gotta get all the way around. Now when you get it on the inside here, it's gonna take away that kind of pinkish look. So you can play with that as much as you want. And you could try different colors of wash. I probably wouldn't try anything like a blue or a purple or a green, but anything from yellow to brown or red probably could work pretty good, I would guess. Okay. Okay, now we'll just come in here and clean up, grab that dingy floor. Okay, dingy, dingy, dingy. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this wash away. All right. And then I'm just, like I said before, I'm going to come back with that silver. Where did I put that silver at? I think I lost it. There it is. And I'm just going to hit some of those metallic spots with that little brush real quick. And then I'm going to let this dry. Now, I did get some of my wash out here that I didn't want to, and that happened, and we're just going to have to live with it. How'd I get orange on here? No problem. Got some orange on there. Didn't want to. It'd be all right. All right, there's my sheriff's department. We're going to put a wash on the roof. I forgot all about that. Damn me. No problem. But the good news is I'm going to get rid of this cardboard. Hope I don't need it again. And let's hit this roof with our wash. Because we don't want it to be looking all different and crazy compared to our other shit, right? Right. What brush did I use for a wash? This one. I had to make it more wash. Yes, that is potassium fluoride, 50% solution, which is used as a reagent for testing specific ions of fluoride, perhaps. It was garbage, though. I did not take it when it had chemical in it still. I took it afterwards, and I triple rinsed it with DI water, and was going to throw it away, and said, oh my gosh, I could put something in this, and I sure as hell did. I put wash in it. Now, this wash is going on here pretty thin. I'm putting a lot of work into it, so it's reactivating some of the paint, and that's okay. It's part of the look I'm kind of going for. Okay. Ammo, and that spells a look. All right. Let's pop this off here. Just like that. We'll set that off to the side. We'll get our jailhouse. We'll set our roof on there. And that looks exactly how we needed it to. I'm going to take this over and throw it in front of the fan. But I'm going to open the door first. And I'm going to let this cool down and dry. And I'll clear cut it, take a photo of it, and we'll come back and talk about it. Let's make a little sign for the front. Get rid of that. And let's pour this back in here. Close that up. And let's see what we can do here. Let's get a piece of cardstock to make our sign. What's our sign gonna look like? Well, I don't know. I got an idea though. All right, so my plan is to get something round like this. Whoops. Let's cut that circle out. And let's cut this. And let's cut this. Okay. Get a little bit of glue here. Do something like that. Okay. That should be about right. Let me get a little piece of wood. Something like this, so it kind of sticks off the front of the Sheriff Station 3D. I'm not going to cut this off till I'm ready to glue it on. I'm going to leave this on as kind of a handle to work on it. Okay. I'm getting dark brown, wherever the hell I put it. There it is. Yeah, I got a rag here. I'm going to come here. I'll paint this side dark brown. Just like that. And we'll make a little sign for the sheriff. Okay. Now let's get that brush cleaned out again. I'm gonna hit it with some air. Oops. And I'm gonna get a gold paint. This is called Royal Gold. I don't know how good this is going to coat. Often these apple barrel from Walmart paints, their metallics are not ideal. I'm going to be real careful here though. And I'm going to try to make kind of a star. And to make a star, first you make a Y, and then you attach all the kind of points together. A Y with a line through it, and you attach the point. So that's how you make a star. M-O-O-N. That spells star. And then if you wanted to, you could have little circles to show this is like a badge star. You can even go around your rim here. I'm just doing real soft. I'm not really pretending I'm painting. I'm kind of pretending I'm using a marker and outline something. Because psychologically that helps me focus better. Okay? Everybody has their own little tricks. That's how I do my stuff. I pretend I'm just outlining something with a pen. I decided I wanted my star to be a little bigger. Okay. Once you're pretty happy with it, if you feel like you want to clean it up, just get your dark paint and your brush rinsed out. Don't rinse out your dark paint, rinse out your brush. And dry this off. Get your dark brown. You could even use a smaller brush for this if you were concerned. Like I should be, but I don't seem to be. And I'm just going to come in here, tighten up those lines and make them a little crisper. I'm going to dry that off. Let's see, S-H-E-R-I-F-F. So if we want to put sheriff, R would be the center word, or the center letter R word. Let's try it. Let's do it with a marker, actually. Make sure this marker writes decent. All right. You can't see it real noticeable, like, unfortunately. All right. Now my building's still drying, but what I'm going to do, make sure that's dry, and I'm going to snip off and glue it on like that. I didn't make a sign for my saloon and I regretted it. So I thought, oh, I for sure need to make one for the sheriff's station. And there it is. Boom. It'll look good. Maybe. We'll see. All right, once I get this on there and it's dry and I clear coat everything, I'll come back and we'll take a look at it. But when I say we'll take a look at it, it'll be off camera. I'll be taking a photo to post it online. Do me a favor, everybody. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell icon, and all the stuff that makes the algorithm gods chirp. The great algorithm spirits, if you will. Check out the website. Buy some miniatures if you can't. No judgment. None whatsoever. Come to the Discord and hang out. Judgment. Lots of judgment there. No, I'm joking. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.